32, so I'll call the meeting to order. Okay, so we're now in session. And the first agenda item is to move to executive session. So to do that, we'll each go through and call our name and announce whether we say yes or no to that. So
Mark,
I'll go first. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, really quick. I think you have to read the statement about why you're entering into executive session and that you will return to open session after.
Thank you. I have it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says the commission will be entering an executive session pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Paragraph 3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation regarding 200 Southville Road. I think that's it. Oh, sorry. Chair so declares that an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiation position of the public body. The commission will return to open session afterwards. Thank you. So we'll we'll move to executive session. Mark Passamato, yes.
Ben Smith is a yes.
Kevin Farrington is a yes.
Jenna Barbary Golowski, yes.
All right, just give me a couple seconds to do all the Zoom stuff. If you are here for an application or a public hearing, if you could kindly leave the Zoom because we need to lock it. Just give me 1 second.
And just to assure you, you'll be welcome back at 7 o'clock when our public hearing resumes at its scheduled time. Somebody may have logged in and early and walked away from their computer.
Yeah. Okay. I can, let's see, I can remove them. Okay. And we are going to, sorry, bear with me. I haven't done this before. Where did it go? Not find the thing to lock it. Hold on. I've locked the webinar. I'm going to pause the recording. So let me just unlock the Zoom room. Okay, so it's unlocked. Liz has been trying to get in, but because the room was locked, she hasn't been able to. So.
Bummer.
Let's see. Right. Joe, hi Joe.
Hello.
Hey Liz.
Hey guys, sorry about that.
No worries, all good. All right, so I'll call the public hearing meeting to order. First thing is the approval of the minutes of February 13th, 2025. If anybody has any comments, edits, modifications. I see head shakes. No, so okay. So do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of February 13th, 2025?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Farrington,
Yes.
Barbary Glowski.
Yes.
Sorry if I said that wrong.
That's okay. Yes.
All right, Smith
Yes.
and Pasamato.
Yes.
Okay.
Jenna, was
first up-
you were officially sworn in? That happened?
Mhm.
Ah, awesome.
Yep.
Do we know if we have a Concom baby?
Don't think we know.
No news.
Is Melissa here? No, she's not, huh?
Mm-mm. Oh. You're stuck with me. Sorry.
No, that's fine, that's fine. So I
Oh,
see she
excited.
started to leave today. That's unexpected, right?
Mhm.
Hope all's okay.
Everything's fine.
Okay, good.
Good.
That's good to hear.
Good.
I have no further updates. I apologize.
Well, everything's fine is a good update.
Mhm.
All right, so we have 7 PM stormwater management permit, 48 Main Street, in accordance with the provisions of the Southfield Stormwater Erosions Control Bylaw, Southfield Town Code, Chapter 154. Southfield Conservation Commission will conduct a continued public hearing on Thursday, March 6, 2025 at 7 PM by a virtual Zoom meeting. The commission will consider a stormwater management permit for a project located at 48 Main Street, map 53, lot 11, for the applicant Fay School. The project description is a construction of a building addition.
Really quick, I work at Fay School, so I'll have to recuse myself if there's.
Okay. Duly noted.
So the applicant's representative, Chris Hodney, has emailed me this afternoon, just requesting a continuance because we still do not have the peer review report from Fuss and O'Neill. So we're hoping to
Okay.
have that by today, but no luck.
So I heard the end of the week is now the target by F&O?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so continuance has been requested. So do I hear a motion to issue continuance to, would assume the next meeting?
Yeah.
And that date is what, Laura?
March 27th,
Okay, March 27th. Time TBD.
time TBD.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Farrington,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pasamato.
Yes. Okay, next we have 705, notice of intent, 12 Wood Street. In accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Southfield Wetlands Bylaw, the Southfield Conservation Commission will conduct a continued public hearing on Thursday, March 6, 2025 at 7:05 PM by a virtual Zoom meeting. The commission will consider a notice of intent for a project located at 12 Wood Street, map 1, lot 22, for the applicant and owner, Alberto Jara. The project, excuse me, the project description is to replace a failed septic system and construction of a porch and deck.
So we do have the homeowner here, but I just wanted to note that due to the snow cover last week, Joe was unable to go out and do a field review. And Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I talked to Chris Lucas this morning and he said, hopefully next week with a review date of the week after. Oh, you're muted.
Yes, we are expecting to be out in the field next week, catching up on some of the field work that we got behind on with the snow cover that we had. So we should have that report finished either late next week or the following week.
Snow cover and frozen ground?
Snow cover and frozen ground were the hindrances to doing the delineation reviews.
How's the ground now? Still pretty frozen?
It's softening.
Is it?
It's workable now. It's a little bit of work, but it's doable. I think we've got some more weather coming. So just kind of keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, earlier today I saw midweek we're going to be in the 55 to 65 range. That'll help.
Yes.
So the applicant's here, Lara?
Yeah, we do have the property owner here.
Okay. if they have any questions about the process and procedure here, let them in to ask.
Yep.
I mean, we're gonna have to continue
Can-
because we don't have the field report.
Can you guys hear me?
We
I can.
Okay, so, so it's still not they still haven't checked the ground yet? Is that what I'm getting? I'm a little lost. I just came in.
Yeah. So the wetland line needs to be confirmed. And when we have snow cover in the winter, it's impossible to do until the snow is gone.
Yeah,
And then,
there's no snow in the property for the last week or so.
yeah, the other thing is the ground being frozen. Right, so the ground has to thaw enough so that soil samples can be taken. So that's an issue we have every winter, to be able to delineate wetland lines. That unfortunately it slows the process because we live in New England and we have this weather in the wintertime.
Right. Has all the other conditions been met? I'm really concerned about this delay. This is really killing me. I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
Are there any other open items other than the delineating the wetland line in the field?
Through the chair, I don't know that we've had full responses to our comments. Let me just double check.
Joe, I couldn't hear you too well. I'm sorry.
He's checking now to see if we've gotten the responses to comments that he has sent back.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
he's checking that now.
Thank you, Mark.
So we'll give him a minute to do that. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that with winter snow cover and frozen ground, it really impedes our ability to be able to delineate wetlands. Unless they have a wetland line that has been delineated and marked and approved within the last 3 years, then we can utilize that and go on that. But if that's not the case, we have to go back out.
Yeah, so there has been some revised information submitted and revised plans with the additional delineation. There has not been a point-by-point response to our initial review from January 16th. And just looking at my notes on that review, that there were some items that had not yet been addressed. The field review.
Can
being
you,
one of
can you
those.
can you guys hold a little bit? I need a specialist to join this meeting. You know, he should be able to join at any second now.
Are you looking for Matthew to join?
Matthew and also Paul, both of them need to be here,
Okay. I have Matthew here. Let me bring him over.
please.
And what is Matthew's role here?
Matthew is the contractor for the house.
Okay.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh,
Yeah, so we're waiting for Paul, who has some answers. I really don't have more answers than anybody else. I'm more interested in seeing what Paul has to say and seeing what I can do to help.
Is it possible that Paul is calling in on a phone that ends in 1644?
I'll check
Yeah.
right
Yeah, it's possible because he's trying to get on. That's the message I'm getting here.
Okay, so he may be that unlabeled phone number may be. Is this your engineer, Mr. Jara?
Actually, Matthew can answer that better because my engineer is Eric, but Paul is filling in for Karen Skinner.
Okay. Okay. Whoever is dialed in on the phone, you should be able to
Hello?
talk.
Hello?
yeah, hello.
Hello? Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, finally. Holy smokes. Yeah, hi, my name is Paul DeSimone from Colonial Engineering. We did the base map for Eric. I'm just standing in for Karen. I didn't know there were any outstanding issues other than the floodplain. What other outstanding issues are there as far as the peer review?
Um,
I don't know if you want me to go through all my comments.
I mean, this is a septic repair. I can't understand why there'd be a lot of revisions to this. The Board of Health approved the plan, correct? This is a septic repair. I mean, what kind of information are you looking for?
well, wetland delineation, and confirmation of
The
that.
wetland I think she flagged the wetlands, we located them.
Yeah, so that has to be confirmed by the commission.
Oh, they haven't even done that yet?
No, the snow
We
cover and
did.
frozen ground was not able to do so.
Oh, okay, well, I can understand
Chair,
that.
We did an initial evaluation of the delineation and it was incomplete, so there was additional delineation required. After that was done, we ran into the snow and the frozen ground conditions that hindered our ability to get out there and take a look at it.
Okay, so that's all you have left to do is just verify Karen's flags, correct?
I believe that is correct. That there were some comments in our review letter regarding some minor items on some of the DPW determination forms and the Form 3 notice of intent. And topography not being complete on the plan. Just checking to see if that's been revised or not.
Yeah, the topography's on the plan, I'm looking at it right now.
Right.
And Karen did do some flagging for us this past weekend, and she was able to core into the ground, just for your information.
Okay.
It was a different site, but at least she was able to do it.
Right, and the sites vary somewhat, but that's good to know. And just looking at the plan right now, as far as what was delineated, the additional delineation. Just so the commission is aware. I don't think that the bank delineation will extend far enough to the east, actually be to the west. To indicate the entire riverfront area on the site. So there might be some additional riverfront area impact, but it's the septic system, which would, just may change the numbers a little bit as far as the area of impact.
Well, make sure you get that information to Karen, so if she has to go back out, she'll do it Friday.
Right, I'd like to
Tomorrow.
do it before I go back out there, so save another trip out there. But
All right.
looking at that,
All right, so,
today before the meeting. So.
all right, well, let us know when you get out there and look at it. We really appreciate it.
Okay. So, Mr. Jerry, you have any other questions? So, Joe needs to go back out. He needs to do, site assessment.
All right, how long is this gonna take more?
Well, it'll be continued to our next hearing, which will be 3 weeks.
We'll have our review done for the next meeting before that, so that you have time to look it over and respond.
Is there anything we can do no, it can't go any faster, right?
Well, we meet every 3 weeks, every 21 days. So the next meeting is March 27th.
Yeah.
Yeah, March 27th. So you would be on that meeting. If Joe finds any issues next week when he goes out, he's planning to go out next week. He'll convey that to your engineering firm. And they should be able to have that all resolved by our next meeting. And, based on what I'm hearing now, I don't see any reason why we won't be able to close this next meeting.
Yeah, okay. What can I do? I guess I paid 1,060 just yesterday extra to Colonial, up to the city, to conservation. Really, for what?
think that was your filing fees. I don't know.
No,
the
they
filing
charge
fees?
me extra hours. They charge me 11 hours more.
It was our peer review consultant fees.
Oh, okay. That's the consultant fees to the peer review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I have no more questions.
Okay. So we'll be continuing this to the March 27th meeting. And based on what I hear now, I don't see any reason why we won't be able to move this through the process and be able to close it off. And then, you also need to be advised that there's a 21-day appeal period. I don't know that anybody's going to appeal this, but if you were to start work, the next day, for example, there is that risk that is out there, but you'd have to assess that.
No, I just don't know.
Oh,
One is Joe. It sounds like Joe is gonna be at the property again next week.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Is there a day set for that or?
There is not a date set at this point. I can be in contact with the commission with Laura. If that would help as far as letting you know when I'll be out there.
is it possible that, I'm sorry, what's your name, Joe?
Yes,
What firm are you with?
I'm with Lucas Environmental.
Okay, is it possible that you could call Karen when you're heading out that way? She would gladly meet you out there. Just so if you have to
that is
move any
possible.
flags, if you have to move any flags or anything, she can be right there.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be great. You can get a hold of her at the town of Westwood if you don't have a cell phone.
Joe, I'm happy to help you coordinate that.
Great.
That would work out for everybody. That way, it's just one stop.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's
Mark,
no
Mark, I'm
problem
good.
to do that.
Mark, I'm good. I don't have any more questions. If you want to
Okay.
move on.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
All right. So do I hear a motion to continue this hearing to the March 27th?
Mark, I don't think it's very likely, but just in case there are any
Oh,
questions.
thank
from the
you, yeah.
public, Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, if there's anybody in the public that has any comments or questions with respect to this filing, raise your hand. We'll let you in.
I have no hands.
Okay, no hands. So with that, again, I'll ask for a motion to continue.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Barbary Glovsky,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
and Pasmato.
Yes.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you,
Good night.
everyone. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
All right, next up is public hearing, 7:10 PM, notice of intent and stormwater management permit, 26 Meadow Lane, in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Southborough Wetlands Bylaw, and the provisions of the Southborough Stormwater and Erosion Control Bylaw, Southborough Town Code 154. The Southborough Commission will conduct a continued public hearing on Thursday, March 6, 2025 at 7:10 PM by a virtual Zoom meeting. The commission will consider a notice of intent and stormwater management permit for a project located at 26 Meadow Lane, map 56, lot 14 for the applicant William Poutre. The project description is the construction of a flexible development with 3 single-family units and 1 duplex unit.
Okay. So
Um,
they had submitted, Peter Bemis had submitted revised plans a couple days ago. We have not had time to review them. Those did go out to our peer reviewers today. Peter had wanted to present the plans to you guys today just to make you aware of the changes that they had made. I don't see him here in the attendees.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw the note earlier that we're going to go ahead and just send them to the peer reviewers, given that Melissa is now on her leave of absence.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do have the property owner here. If you would like him to, I can move him over.
Okay, I see his hand raised, so. You can let him in.
He's moving over. Hey, Bill, you should be able to talk.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening. I know that Peter had a family issue and was unable to attend tonight. A matter that he needed to attend to. So aside from what he has submitted, there really won't be any other testimony tonight. So we will look to continue to the next meeting.
Okay. Yeah, we would need our peer reviewers to review the modified plans. And make sure they're to the satisfaction of the requirements for the, Wetlands Protection Act bylaw and stormwater.
I understand.
Yeah, so I guess the takeaway for you tonight is the request for that review has gone out, right? The plans have been moved on, so that's in flight.
Through the chair.
Thank you.
Sure, yes.
Also, my understanding was that you would be submitting a response to our initial round of comments. And I just wanted to make sure that was still forthcoming, because I've been waiting for that before responding to any of the revised plans.
Joe, I guess my comment to that would be with the revisions that were made were in response to planning board hearings. And so the plans that you now have, while the area does not change in any way, we're not encumbering any more of any wetlands whatsoever. But reviewing the first plans became secondary to the new plans that were, kind of forced upon us by comments through the planning board process. Does that make sense?
I believe so, but I think a lot of the original comments are still pertinent, and would like to see some responses to those before.
And I'll have an opportunity to speak with Peter,
Okay.
maybe hopefully tomorrow. Again, he had a family issue and family
Sure.
emergency, so
He was here a second ago.
He just joined.
oh, okay.
Moved him over.
Sorry, trying to do everything here. So I apologize. I'm prepared to share screen and just give you an overview. That's all I wanted to accomplish tonight, because Fuss and O'Neill hasn't commented yet, and I do apologize for getting on late here.
No worries about that.
Okay.
We were just explaining to the applicant, Mr. Poutre, that we forwarded the revised plans onto Lucas Environmental and Fuss and O'Neill as of today.
Okay.
So it's now in their hands.
Right.
So we're just going to wait for their comments to come back at this point.
Okay. I thought you'd like to understand the changes, but if you'd prefer not to do that
Well,
with the time you have, it's up to you.
Now I understand you have some issues going on, so we don't want to take any of your time if you got.
It's okay. I'm home now. Yeah, 97 years, my mother-in-law, so it's all good.
Okay.
We're just getting in, so I'm just trying to get caught up as quickly as I could here, setting up. So I apologize.
If you want to, provide a
I'll
brief
give you a
overview,
good,
then
yeah, that's all I'd like to do. So I
Okay.
have the drawing queued up. So if I could share screen, I'll be quick.
There you go.
Okay, so cover page, just going to scroll. So it's not going to work. So now I have to move these over here. Existing conditions doesn't change. Is that showing up, or did I have to stop the share?
No, I see it.
You do see it. Okay, very good. So Joe had identified wetlands that were located on the south side of the runway in this position here. Those were located in the field. David Burke was the wetland botanist who identified that. And I believe that Joe at the last meeting had, kind of concurred that was generally where he had seen that area. And it's sensitive fern and some hydrophytic grasses that are there. And it's really just because of poor drainage along the edge of the runway. So what we've done now, we've changed the project, I would say somewhat significantly, in that we've put 2 single-family homes that are going to go across our frontage here, and we've got a loop driveway. Now we'll have 2 dwelling units at the back that are duplexes. This is that wetland that gets displaced. That's what we had shown you at the last meeting as well, but not in this configuration. And then this is the area where we're going to replicate that wetland. This wetland is got basically 2 plant communities there, some grasses and some sensitive fern. This is going to be a much more diverse community with flowering plants, berried plants with fruit for birds, and trying to create a bit of a habitat across the back end of the site that ties into the existing wetland that's here. The amount of work area has been reduced. Stormwater, I can show you on this plane here. We're going to be collecting stormwater from all the roof areas, infiltrating all of that. There's going to be drainage in this location here and this location here. That's collecting water from the proposed loop roadway, and then tying that back into the municipal system so that there's actually a full mitigation of all stormwater events. So even the 100-year storm event is fully mitigated. And then across the back end of the site, the same thing, these roofs are captured. They're going to overflow after the infiltration component down into our swale, our wetland replication area, so that there's some hydrology associated with that as well. The commission's probably not aware of some of this component, but they're in the major residential development. There are some definitions for when you have a multifamily unit versus a single family unit as far as how much open space that you're setting aside. In this case now, we're well over 60% open space with this proposal. The developable areas are really restricted now, and each lot around each building envelope area is really where we're going to have private land, if you will, and the rest of it's just going to be open land. So that's I just want to be able to introduce that to you folks, so you'd see it and understand it. So when the comments come back in, you'll have a better understanding of it before the next meeting, when we'll probably delve into it more particularly. So that's pretty much it, unless somebody has a question. Thank you.
The chair?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just want to check now that Peter's here. Peter, will you be submitting responses to our initial round of comments?
Yes, I apologize, Joe, if I missed that. So I will get that to you so that you don't lose time between now and the next meeting. Try to get that to you beginning of next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions from the commission at this point? No. All right, well, we'll be continuing this to the March 27th meeting.
We provided you with extensions, I think, through, I think we did 45 days. I did that with Laura.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do I hear a motion to continue?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Gulick,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Barber-Uglowski,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pasamato.
Yes.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have 7:15, notice of intent, 120 Turnpike Road. In accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Southborough Conservation Commission will conduct a continued public hearing on Thursday, March 6, 2025 at 7:15 p.m. via virtual Zoom meeting. the commission will consider a notice of intent for a project located 120 Turnpike Road, map 37, lot 120-4, for the applicant FD 120 Turnpike LLC. The project description is a construction of a 60-unit apartment building.
So, Joe and Chris had sent over the peer review letter this afternoon. I forwarded that to the applicant and I uploaded it in the SharePoint. I got an email this evening from Mitch of Goddard requesting a continuance. He said the project team took time to review the letter and that the requests for the revised materials appear reasonable and achievable. So they plan to provide the commission with revised materials in the next few weeks, and they anticipate addressing all of the outstanding comments in the Lucas review letter. So they wanted to request a continuance to our next meeting.
Okay, to the next meeting?
Yep.
All right. So it sounds like we're on track here, so we'll grant that with a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Barbary Glowski,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pasmato.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I see Peter's hanging on here, so
Mhm.
why don't we take the new and continued business number 2, request for extension, 2 East Main Street, DEP number 290-782.
Mark, he's also here for the number 1. the
Oh, he
admin
is?
meeting. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm here for 200 Turnpike too, and I have that queued up. So
all
if,
right.
if it's okay.
We'll do that first then.
Yeah, I was wasting time getting all these things ready and not getting on to know that I was there already, so I apologize. I thought you were starting at 7:30, so I thought, oh, I've got plenty of time. So I'm sorry.
All right, so the administrative amendment for 200 Turnpike
Right.
Road, SMP and OOC.
Okay,
do
thank
that
you.
first.
If you allow me to share again, please. Thank you. So 200 Turnpike, again, we're at the corner of Middle Road and Route 9. The town DPW building is to our east. For those of you that may not recall this project. So we have a 206 Turnpike, and we come through that driveway and we come up to the back site here. This work has been underway now. It's, I would say, somewhat substantially completed, and that all the slopes around our perimeter are stabilized. The rain garden that had to be built here is constructed. All the infiltrative drainage is done. The project is pretty well together. The building never got built, but all this site and work and whatnot infrastructure was put in place. So now they're getting ready to build the building and have come to the conclusion that there would maybe a better way to do this. The contractor that the company that owns this building was working with had basically said to us that they had to be 2 separate structures. When we drew it that way. So there was going to be an addition for like the warehouse component and then a freestanding salt shed. And it just didn't make a lot of sense to me to have this alley in between the 2 buildings. So I had suggested to them to speak to a different building contractor that I've done other business with. And lo and behold, you can do exactly what I had suggested. So we're back to basically fill this in, to use this common wall to be the wall that divides the 2 spaces, but it'll allow the roof lines to now match, and we can capture the entire roof area and infiltrate that in this chamber area that we had originally designed. And so we're basically displacing pavement, and the pavement was always going to get captured with our closed drainage system, and that was going to go into this. This system overflows into this, then it overflows into the rain garden anyway. So it's all one basically systematic system where roof water got treated in this area and pavement water got treated in this area separately, but they still overflowed and connected to each other. So there's really not much of a change. All this work is outside of your buffer zone jurisdictionally, but it's still a change. We're making a change that we need to make with the planning board. So we have to go through a formal process of that with them, and we are actually having a separate public hearing to do that. So with you folks, though, I do believe this can be done administratively. I've provided you with the drawings, the details. Melissa's been out to the site, and I just feel like this would be a much easier way than trying to open up the order of conditions again. So I'm basically just kind of coming to you saying, look, we'd like to make a field change if you'll agree to that. And then when we submit for our certificate of compliance, there'll at least be a paper trail so that when you see this as being one building now and not this alley between them, it will make sense. So that's it in a nutshell. If you'd like to ask any questions relative to the plan, I can bring it back up again, but just feel it might be easier if we can kind of see each other there. So thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
No questions. I just say that I support handling this as an administrative amendment. Runoff from a rooftop is inherently cleaner than runoff from a paved surface, especially in sort of an industrial situation like this. So the only impacts to resource areas are positive. There is no change in impervious area and no change in peak runoff, nor any change in infiltrative volume or anything like that. Really, we end up with a site with a slightly, marginally cleaner stormwater discharge.
I certainly agree. Anybody else? Questions, comments, opinions? I take silence as agreement.
Okay, that works for me. Thank you.
So Ben, do you have some words here in the form of a motion?
Before that, I'll just say, I see we have one person in the audience, and on the off chance that she wishes to speak on this, Ms. Anderson, if you'd like to, please raise your hand and join us. Looks like not. So I would move that we accept this proposed change as an administrative amendment to the order of conditions, so that we have a record that we can refer back to when the certificate of completion comes in for our review, so we know what's going on.
So moved.
Hey, do I hear a second?
A second. Did he make the motion or did he move it?
He framed the motion.
I meant to make it. If I didn't, I also moved that, what I said.
Okay.
Okay, second.
Okay. All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Barber-Glavsky,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Cosmato.
Yes.
Great.
Peter, I can
Thank-
have
thank
that to you, that memo to you, early next week.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, now for the request for
Okay.
extension of 2 East Main Street.
Great. So Peter Bemis, Engineering Design. So I'm approaching you folks because I had basically let the old order, which got extended, expire when I was disappointed to not get approval for the last site plan I did in downtown, and I just kind of figured I don't know what I'm going to do next, and I didn't have anything to come to you with to suggest give me another extension. So with that out of the way, the state government has gone forward and provided another economic extension to permits. So the permit was good because during the COVID period, it extended it for 142 days. And that put it to July of 23. And if you had an active permit in 23 from January forward, the next legislation in the acts of, I guess it was basically the end of last year, they provided a 2-year extension. So the permit is still valid, even though I didn't come to you to ask for an extension. It's valid because of these extension acts that the government has imposed. Or allowed, excuse me, not imposed, but allowed. So we're good until July of this year. So as many of you know, I have gone back to the planning board to seek approval for a mixed-use facility. And I've been at this now since I think it was August. We filed and we've had several meetings and unfortunately there was the zoning bylaw was printed incorrectly. And we thought that we were restricted because the building inspector's interpretation was that we could only have 50% of whatever was on the first floor, the way it was drafted. So that would have meant we had a 3,000 square foot building. We could have a 1,500 foot second floor. So maybe one bedroom apartment, one bedroom apartment. And that just isn't economically feasible. We did find out that the bylaw was not put into the zoning the zoning bylaw correctly by some vendor. Mr. Hagerty at the town clerk's office gave us a proper bylaw, which we got maybe about a week and a half ago at this point. So the new definition, or the proper definition, isn't much better, unfortunately. It allowed 50%, so we can do basically what's on the first floor on the second floor. But if you go above that, then you can only have 40%. And I don't think the person who drafted this language thought about it very much, because it's basically a further reduction. So if you even were to go on the third floor, you could have a smaller building than you would have had if you only went up 2 floors. So it's just not economically feasible to do a mixed use, and at this point, until the definition gets fixed. So we're going forward with an apartment building just so I can get some traction with a project. So with that said, I expect to get a project approved with the board, and rather than having to rush to build something between now and July, I would ask the commission to consider an extension. I've asked you to extend it until the end of 26, so that we can do this properly, and maybe there's some time to fix the zoning. If there's no action to fix the zoning, then we're going to go forward with the apartments, because there's really nothing I can do further at this point. This is the third try, so that's kind of where I'm at. Obviously, it would be advantageous to be able to keep the permit that I currently have with you folks going, so we can be expeditious in how we do this. As you know, when Beth was the Conservation Commission Administrator, we actually did the work. So the wet basin was constructed. The erosion control's been in place. What has happened over time is the Japanese knotweed, some of it's been knocked down, but there's still some of it out there. We still have to try to sequester that. Dick Upjohn was a strong proponent of that, and that's still part of the proposal here. So I will tell you that my goal is for there to be none, at least on this property. I can't say much about what's going to happen on my abutters properties or the railroad, but on this piece, we've taken an active role in trying to sequester that. Through basically smothering it, and where you've seen the asphalt grindings, basically it has smothered it. So that part's been effective. And in the back where we put down some impermeable barrier, that has worked. I did it basically the similar approach that I did with John Proscoli's property over there at Deerfoot Road. We put down a heavy geotextile, and the only spots that it came through were the spots that I had to revisit when John didn't prepare one area properly, and we had to go back out and dig it up. And that when you start to monkey with the soils, you end up getting the knotweed to propagate again. So with all that said, and then the other thing I wanted to say was that you don't have to make this decision tonight. We have time, obviously July. But what I'd hate to have happen is the commission to be postponing it and then all of a sudden tell me you're not going to support it, because then I'd have to try to do as much work as I can in a short period of time. So that's really where I'm at. I'm kind of coming to you and saying, look, I want to have a conversation about it. It doesn't have to be decided tonight, but I do need some support for this at some point from you folks. Thank you.
So the question I have is the asphalt millings and grindings or whatever you want to call them that's on the site and piled up. What's the plan there?
They're going to get used. So that volume that's there, actually the volume that had been there was going to get used, but Melissa, we spoke about it. We thought it was too excessive, so I did cut it back. I still hope to be able to use it, so I hate to haul it away and then have to haul it back. So I tried to make it look better. At the time, the thought was that I didn't have a valid permit, so I should clean the site up. But, then I had said to Melissa, look, I'm not going to stand on that and just say, look, I have a permit. That's not the right way to respond. So we did go out and clean it up. If you feel like that's still not enough, I'll take it off the site if I have to.
Well, I guess I'd only say that it's pretty unsightly, as you can imagine, right?
I
Where it
know,
is,
I
it's
know.
at the corner.
Yeah.
Anybody that has to go down to Reliant for any kind of medical thing around the corner there, it's got a big piece of metal sitting out in front of it, and every time I go get my hair cut, it's conversation.
Yeah, Craig likes to talk about it.
Actually, he didn't bring it up the last 2 times.
That's
Other
right.
people, and he does haircuts by appointment, so there's not a lot of people in the shop. But
Yeah, that's right.
they don't ask me about it specifically. But it seems to be the last 3 times I've been in there, it's been conversation, and I didn't
Okay.
start it.
Well, let's put it this way. If there's support for what I'm trying to do, and if that's what it would make you folks feel better, I'll do that. I'll take on that expense, because that's going to obviously save me, time and aggravation down the road. So, the screener, that happens to be, a good friend who's allowed us to use it, because we did need to pull when they dumped everything. When I let the town dump everything there, they pretty much dumped everything there. So we had curbing, we had, lots of rocks and boulders and stuff. And unfortunately, it's not all millings. So that's why we did it this way. But if that's what it takes, Mark, I respect the approach, and I would certainly agree to do that. Just give me a period of time to do it in.
I mean, I do understand it's not, your fault that, it's been dragging on, right? And you're at bat
trying.
here for strike 3. Right. So,
Yep.
so I get that. I don't necessarily want you to, incur a lot of expense just to move stuff around. But it is a little unsightly. That's all. Just leave it at that.
Honestly, again, I'll give you my word, if I can get support for this proposal, then I would certainly do that. That's the least I can do.
I'll open up to other commission members. I just,
Just a quick question, stepping completely outside of jurisdiction as a conservation member, what are you looking at for a unit count for rental units?
We're at 6 right now. There's still some discussion on how to do that, but
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at the moment. So if we did 4, Ben, and that was where the very first proposal I ever had done 4. But the problem was, by the time you started looking at it, we ended up with bedrooms that were 9 feet wide to 10 feet wide, and no one's going to pay any serious money for that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this day and age, when they can go somewhere and get what they call a modern apartment, I know some folks end up with that in some older home, and I'm not trying to disparage that situation, because I was joking with some at the planning board meeting about someone where we raised our children. I lived on Ted Lane, and I had a house there, but I sold that house and I built a house in back of it that was newer, modern, versus my neighbors. And then they had very small bedrooms, and we call them closets, because I had one of those houses, but we ended up selling that to get the land in the back. So I get it. But unfortunately, we were trying to find something that was financially viable. And it's just too much of a risk to put something with such a small bedroom down there. So
you're looking at probably in the neighborhood of four units? Is that?
If we did the mixed use, that's what we were going to do. Yes.
Oh, okay. But
yeah, mixed use was that. But unfortunately, to get the size, we'd have to go up another story.
Yeah.
And the way the formula is, you go down. You understand math like I do.
Yeah.
So you say 50% at 2 floors. When you go to the 3rd floor, by the time you add a bit of square footage, but you're taking a 40% factor of that, you actually have less than you had at 2 stories.
Right.
But no one thought about that.
And you can see how somebody walked themselves down that path without realizing it, and it's sort of unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, as it stands right now, you're looking at a fully residential project, unless it's a change to the zoning code, which would probably result in something around 6 units.
Right. So the problem is the zoning code where they put this, it's in a definition. So
Yeah.
it's not even like I couldn't even go to ZBA. I've spoke to the building inspector about it. So you can't get relief. It's a definition. Definitions are pretty much set in stone. What it says is, and there's a dimensional requirement in a definition versus
Okay.
just if it just said mixed use is two things, which is what it probably should say.
Right.
Then it'd be one thing, but it says it can be two things. And by the way, you can only do 50% or 40%. That's the
Right.
part that is the Achilles heel.
So I guess I would just say, and again, this is completely stepping outside of jurisdiction as a Conservation Commission member, but I'm thrilled to see a smaller residential rental project, those sprinkled through town rather than massive multi-hundred unit garden apartments out on the periphery. I think it's healthier for the community. And I think it's something the community dramatically needs. And I think it's something that we can accommodate in a way that is respectful of our, Wetlands Protection Act, our local wetlands bylaw. And I would be supportive of granting an extension.
Okay. Any other conversation? Comments?
Just a quick question. Is this just an NOI that we're extending, or is it a stormwater permit as well?
Yep. So the answer to that is the order of conditions. So that's probably the most important part of this. Is that orders that were granted at that time, this predated the Stormwater Act. So you were grandfathered basically. But I would say to you that we didn't skip that part when we did it. The stormwater from the parking lot is pre-treated. So we had a treatment unit as part of our proposal. Then we also infiltrated the roof water. That's still being observed. So the things that you would normally have expected are in this. It's just that the SMP has a lot of other layers that require a lot of, I don't want to say, dotting I's, crossing T's, looking at and analyzing this, analyzing that, all those things. Like HydroCAD is being done. The calculations to support the parking lot and the treatment of stormwater is being done. But we're not looking at, I'm trying to remember some of the tables and things we do, the hydrogeology, like looking at where the contours are. The site's only it's less than 20,000 square feet. So it would, there's probably one groundwater contour here. There's just a lot of things like that we're just not doing. So I would say to you that at the same, it's technically, yes, we're not going through an SMP process. We didn't go through one, but the design still does respond to those requirements that you currently have. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Anybody else? No, so I think I'm hearing that the request for extension, there's appetite for that.
Okay. So like I
So-
said, I don't know if it's important to do it. I know Melissa had indicated that she had one more meeting, but is she even sitting here tonight? I see Laura running. the
she's
meeting.
not.
She's not, okay,
not.
So it's
We're
fine.
being told it's all good,
It's all
but
good,
she started her leave of absence a little sooner than she thought.
good. Okay. Fully
know,
understood. Been there,
know,
done that, Mark.
Mother Nature has other plans.
Yep, happened to me too, so it's all good. So great. It doesn't have to be tonight, guys. I just really wanted to get it out on the table.
Well,
Thank you.
I mean, I'll put it out there. I mean,
Okay.
rather than dragging this on, you're asking for an extension to the end of calendar year 2026.
That's what I'd ask for, just so that there was some time in case there was a movement to try to do something, because it would give us enough time to at least get things constructed.
So I think administratively, it's easier to extend the date that you have that expires in July. I think it's easier just to extend that a year or two.
Okay, well, if we could do two, I would be grateful versus one, but I'll
Yeah,
leave that
so
to you.
if we extend it 2 years, that covers the period of time that you're asking for.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So that would be what I'd be looking for a motion for.
Okay. So I'll make the motion that we extend the order of conditions in this project by 2 years.
Okay, there's a second.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Parrington,
Yes.
Barbary Klevsky,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Osmato.
Yes.
Great, thank you. And Mark, I will try to get an update for your next meeting as far as cleaning that up. Okay.
Well,
can
I
try to
mean,
get it
I'm
done.
not gonna,
Oh.
maybe, you know, when the flowers are blooming, put a hanging plant on top of it. I don't know. I just give you a
Oh,
heads up. It's, you know,
Alright.
it seems to be some talk of the town.
All right, I'll clean it up a bit but Jack Bartolini's been telling me to sell hubcaps down there for the longest time, so I have to tell you, at least
Okay.
it's not hubcaps.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Take care. Bye-bye. Laura, I'm done, right? I didn't have another one on there? I
Nope,
just wanna
you're
make
all
sure.
set, and I'll
Okay,
have that
good.
for you next week, okay?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Good night.
Thank
night.
you.
Okay. Let me see, we have Chestnut Hill Farm updates, if any.
I don't have anything unless any of you have something.
No. All right, so then we have other business. Let me see, Breakneck Hill Farm dump progress. Do you have any updates on that?
I don't have any updates. I think Melissa had uploaded the restoration plan into the SharePoint, but I haven't heard anything else, anything further on it. I know stewardship was meeting, I think, earlier this week, and we do have Joyce here as well.
Just gonna say that.
Okay. Joyce, do you have any comments or updates that you'd like to share with the commission at this point? Just raise your hand.
The stewardship committee did meet this week, and we're working on comments that we can share with the Conservation Commission probably within a couple of days based on our review of the plan, but we're not ready to share them in this moment.
Okay. All right, thank you. And I also see here that the ACO closeout from DEP.
We did receive that, so I think that piece of it is all done, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's good news, yes.
Yeah.
And then I see agent leave, so we have the latest and greatest on that.
Yep, so she will be out I think until July, beginning of July, possibly. So I will do my best to fill in for her. I could never replace what she does. So if there's anything that comes up that you guys need, don't hesitate to reach out. I do want to just remind everybody that I work part-time and I'm in the office Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 2. I work from home on Thursdays. You can send me an email, give me a call what you need, and I will do my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. But there should be no disruption in anything conservation related. So,
okay,
fingers crossed.
And,
well, great.
so,
And
so Laura, I in talking with Melissa and you, I'm going to be trying to help out with like site inspections and stuff like that. I don't know if we ever covered this, but if you're having trouble getting in touch with me, did Melissa leave you my cell number so that you can send a text?
I don't think so. If you want to send me an email with it,
I'll email that. I'll email that to you because I'm not always as good as I should be about checking the emails. So if something comes up that's urgent, you'll be able to get in touch.
okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Of course.
So I do have an update on one site if you guys have
Yep.
time. Okay.
yep, good.
Just really quick, so 250 Turnpike Road, this is a site where the ZBA currently has a 40B application in front of it. Part of that peer review from Lucas Environmental for the wetlands review included a recommendation for the applicant to do a vernal pool migration study. This was something that Joe and Chris had brought up back in December. And we received the plan for that study on Monday. Chris and Joe and the applicant have been going back and forth the last couple days and today, just trying to kind of hammer out the final details for that, just because it is time sensitive. So they did want me to present it to you guys and just make you aware, because it is something that is happening within the 100-foot buffer zone. They will be installing the silt fence and the pitfall traps. So there will be some disturbance, some digging. It's something that you guys are within your jurisdiction to require a permit for them to do. But, and Joe, correct me if I misspeak here, it may also qualify as a minor activity under the 310 CMR. So it's up to you guys to kind of make that determination on if you want to require a permit or not. The downside to requiring a permit is if you have them apply for an RDA or what have you, they will likely miss the window to conduct the study. They are fully prepared to mobilize this weekend and start the installation this weekend so that they can start the study next week, if possible, just because there has already been some movement. So just kind of wanted to get your feelings on what you'd like to see.
So it's kind of a catch-22. So if we wait and ask for a permit, they're gonna miss the season. If we give the go-ahead, then they're doing work in the buffer zone without a permit.
Unless you feel that it qualifies as one of those minor activities that would be exempt.
So to the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no tree cutting, tree removal proposed. What is proposed is installation of silt fencing as a drift net. That will be done with a ditch witch. They're proposing silt fence around one of the wetlands, wetland A, no work in the wetland. And then another silt fence between two of the wetland areas out there. Along those silt fences, they'll be installing buckets that will be buried in the ground. That'll be all, handwork as far as getting the buckets in. We would be notified of when that work is completed, and we would be doing a site inspection on that, just to make sure it all looks okay. I think it's reasonable to think that it is included as it could be included as a minor project under the Wetlands Protection Act for monitoring type activity. Although there will be some minor disturbance, similar to like if you have test pitting or something like that, but probably less disturbance than that.
And will the installation of the silt fence impact the migration of these
That's the idea. Yeah, the silt fence, they run into the silt fence, then they have to move along the silt fence and they fall into a bucket. And then the buckets are checked every day.
Sounds mean.
Yeah. Well, one of the issues that came up during the review process is, if the proposed road is going in that is blocking the potential migration path, then some other things may need to be done to mitigate for that. But we don't know if there is any migration going through the site, or if there is, where it is. So that's why the study has been done.
Mm-hmm. So, I would hate to miss the season. And I think I'd rather get the data. Right.
Yeah, I feel like
the data is going to be important.
Exactly. I think it's important enough that is mitigation for any of the minor impact to the resource area, like the importance of the data, will guide us in making decisions about the project.
I've also done I've done a migration project like this before, and it seems to me like this would qualify as a minor disturbance.
Yeah. So is this something we need to vote on, or just, understand that they're just gonna go ahead with this study?
I mean, I don't think a vote can hurt, just to have it. It's up to you.
I guess I don't know, I don't know what we're voting on.
I mean, I
True.
would move to allow them to continue with or to start the study.
Yeah, in lieu of any permitting.
Yeah.
All right, let's move that motion forward and take a vote.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Barbary Glavsky,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pasamato.
Yes.
All right, so I will let them know. Part of their plan is that they will provide notice to the ZBA, to the commission, and to Lucas Environmental 24 hours in advance of starting the study. And Lucas is also going to inspect the fencing before and after installation, or after installation and before starting the study. So,
Making sure they can't sneak underneath.
yeah.
We're gonna put Jersey barriers up for them. Okay. Any other business to come before the commission tonight? No. Okay, given that, do I hear a motion to close the hearing?
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Barbary Glavsky,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pasamato.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Great job, Laura.
Good night, everyone.
Yep.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
See you guys later.